Speaking of Cher, let's talk about her relationship with Chaz, who she talks about in the book because, of course, Chaz is a part of her life. And we've always wondered over the years. I don't know if she's actually ever spoken about her feelings about Chaz and his transition, but she talks about it in the book and basically said that she got his blessing to use his dead name, which we all know is chastity. And I have some thoughts on that, but we'll get into the story. So Cher has been a long-time supporter, as y'all know, of the LGBTQ community. The gays have pretty much kept her paid for decades. But she did reveal that her trans son's transition more than 10 years ago was difficult for her at first. And I think we've all pretty much known that. But I like the fact that she's speaking about it. Now, the legendary singer who's 74 spoke with Christian Amanpour on CNN about the transition period in the late 2000s for her son Chaz, who's 51, which included legally changing his name and gender. Amanpour indicated that Cher didn't struggle at all with her son's transition, which she corrected. She said, "No, that's not exactly true. I did. It was very unlike me to, in the beginning, have a problem with Chaz being gay, and it disappeared like that. And then we talked about transgender for many years, and she would say, "No, I don't want to do it." And then he went and said, "Okay, I want to do this." So basically, it wasn't easy. Like I remember calling, and the old Chaz message was on the phone, and that was very difficult. But then you have one child, but you don't really lose them. They're just in a different shape. Now, Chaz, is Cher's only child with her late husband and former singing partner, Sonny Bono, who died in 1998. Now, Cher made a documentary about the transition process becoming Chaz. Oh, sorry, Chaz made a documentary about the transition process becoming Chaz that was released in 2011. He also became the first trans person to compete on Dancing with the Stars in 2011. Now, Chaz is so happy, so unbelievably happy, that I don't know what the people's problem are. They're fearful. They just don't understand how to react to it. Some of it's religious. I'm just not sure why it's such a big thing. He says, I talk to people on Twitter or people come up to me and I just say, just relax and you guys will get through it. You'll get through it together. And I feel like, yeah, I understand like some people are just not used to people who are trans or never encounter people who are trans. But look, trans people are not going to come and sexually abuse you. They're not going to put a gun to your head and make you do crazy things. Trans people are just like anybody else. They just feel like they were born in the wrong body. And I love the fact that Cher is someone who's like, yeah, I'm all for the LGBTQIA plus community. And we had a conversation about, Chad's going back and forth on, do you want to transition? Do you not want to transition? No, I don't want to do that. And then I guess maybe you thought long and hard about it. And it could be on Chaz's side that he thought at the time that, oh yeah, she's okay with the gay thing, which a lot of times parents will be. But then when you sit up here talking about, oh, I want to transition into a different gender, that can be a hard pill for people to swallow. So while you have gotten to the place where it's understanding on your end, where you know what you want to do and what you want to be, sometimes you got to allow the others to catch up to where you are mentally before you come down on the, oh, well, you don't accept me at this point, then F you. I don't want to deal with you in life. So Cher had to come to a conclusion of getting to that place. And we hear people talk about this all the time. Marlon Wayans even said he had to go through his period of when his daughter transitioned into his son and the different things that he was going through, where it took him a week to get through that whole situation. So I love the fact when parents come out and they have these conversations, and I wish that a lot more people would listen and learn from this stuff instead of listening to that stupid propaganda that Trump and his people like to incorporate and put out there towards a lot of you weak-minded people who don't want to listen and learn and realize that, you know what, at the end of the day, we're all in this together. While them people at the 1% that y'all sitting here worshiping like they the God of whatever are actually going to put us in a worse place than we are now and distract you while they sitting over there taking even more of the piece of the power. We out here fighting and struggling with each other. So I love the fact that she came out and said this about her son and basically said, you know what? I talk to people on social media and people try to come at me, I guess, to try to down me for having a trans child. She's like, you know what? Just relax, take a moment, really try to understand where your kid is coming from, and then you'll get through it. You just have to take time to take in what they're saying. You need to work on whatever issue that you got. Like if you got If it makes you question your religious upbringing or whatever the case is, I think that's a good thing because why do we always, as people, go in and just blindly accept whatever we're being told? Especially when you got it from these church folks or whatever the case is. And it's sort of like, you know what? Question everything. Because I'm always, because me as a person, I've always been genuinely curious about people who are different than me. I don't know if it was the way I was raised or maybe I was just always wired that way. But I've always been genuinely curious about people who don't believe or follow the same situations that I do and learning from those people. And I guess maybe it's because I've learned to exercise my ego and I make it all about me and what I was taught. And this is the law and this is what the way things are. So I just have to just go along with it. I've never been somebody who has just been blinded by whatever people tell me, and I just go with it like I'm some damn sheep. I've always had a mind of my own, which I guess, kind of rubs people the wrong way, but whatever. So kudos to you, Cher, for talking about this. And I love the fact that Chaz was like, you know what? I told my story in becoming Chaz. So um this is an opportunity for my mother to tell her side of the story and what she went through and allowing her to be like, you know what? For the sake of telling the story in the book, you can use my dead name and if to give more nuance to where mentally you were at the time when I came out to you as gay versus when I came out to you a second time as a trans man. So I love hearing these stories and I hope that people who are struggling, who have trans children, or even just out of curiosity, if you want to learn about trans people, that you can pick up this book and maybe Cher will make you open your eyes onto what she had to deal with, and then you could be more accepting, or even or just respecting people that are different than you. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Cher opening up about how she felt about Chaz when he came out to her as transgender? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.